Hi everyone. And today we're in our workshop and we got this really cool project today. You'll see here this is a picture frame, and my wife was down at our local art and framing store and saw this, and she thought, this would be perfect to build a frame around a wall-mounted TV. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the frame apart and we're going to recut it, and we'll basically custom size it to the TV, and we're going to mount it to a box frame that's also going to go around the TV. Now I'm not quite sure these miters are how these miters are made. I don't know if these were if there's a if these are spline joined or if there's biscuits in them. I just don't know. The nice thing about it is that there's an inset here, so we can use that to see if we can knock the miters apart. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, now let's see if we could try to separate this using our nail bar. Yeah, pretty easy finish here, no complicated joints. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and I want to do that to the remaining three corners and get this apart, and then we'll have 4 pieces of wood from which to work with to cut our own miters to start building our facade to the frame. Because I went ahead and I cut the pieces to the exact outside frame of my TV. When you do that, what you want to do is you want to mark it so that the inside of the frame here, see that, where the inside of the frame is going to be your cut mark for the miter. So you don't want to mark out here, you want to mark inside. So the TV will actually go inside here, this frame. So this is where you're going to mark the cuts. Okay, very important to know. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of using nails, I'm going to go ahead and use biscuit joints. So we're going to use size 0. This is perfect for this frame, just like that. And you see I've already pre-marked all the edges, so they should line up. There you go. So I'm going to put my biscuit joint right here on each of these marks, and then we're going to slip the biscuits in and glue it all up. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. Okay, we've got everything we need here for our glue up. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue on both sides here, a little bit inside the slot, and I'm going to go ahead and start to assemble. And so you'll see when we do that, provides us with a really nice flush fit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then use a kind of like a makeshift frame vise. I'm basically going to use one of those tie down ratchets that you use for securing your cargo or anything else on top of your car or anything like that. So I'm going to just have it wrap around the entire frame and then tighten it down when I've got glue on all 4 sides. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and glue that up. And next thing, when we've got the glue applied and the glue is setting and curing, we're going to go ahead and then build the box or the frame that this facade will mount onto. Okay, so what I did was, after I did that frame, the frame facade, the glue up there, came back down to the workshop and started cutting some 1x4 pine and just to start building the box frame. So basically the facade will kind of sit like this. It's going to, which will be, let's see, probably more like this here, like on this corner. So you'll see here, it'll just sit right on top like that. And what's going to happen is that with this frame, it's basically going to stand or be mounted about a ½ inch proud. When you view the frame, the TV, from the side, what you're going to see is just a nice clean piece of wood here. You won't see this if you did it this way. Okay, so on the short side of the TV, you want to make sure that you cut it so that you do not see the long piece from the side. Okay, so just what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue in here. Don't need a biscuit joint, and just a couple of nails on each joint should do the trick, because again the facade will sit right on top, so you're really not going to see any of these joints. Okay, so I went ahead, I built the box frame here, as you can see, and I went ahead and attached the facade to the box frame, left about just a ½ inch from the edge, so you can see here, so that the frame just sticks out just a little bit, just a design piece. I did use a pneumatic nail gun, a finishing nail, so you could see that it sets in very nicely, and you could barely see the nail here. So if you wanted to go ahead and touch that up with just a little bit of gold leaf, that'll be perfect. And that's why I went with a pneumatic nail gun. Fits around pretty nicely. And just before I installed the facade onto the box frame, I used a chisel to make sure that all of the miter joints on the inside are smooth. Make sure there was no glue that had ran from the clamp, from the band clamp. And now we're pretty much ready to do some finishing touches. I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes here on the bottom, mostly for sound, so I'll probably use a Forstner bit here, just a hand drill, and then some on the top as well for ventilation. Then I'm going to give this a paint. I've decided to not use black, and my wife found a matching gold leaf paint, so we're going to go ahead and match the sides. And we are pretty much wrapped up here. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. And finding this facade, the frame, from a art store surely made things a lot quicker. And we're just really cutting it down to size. Makes it look like a pretty fancy frame. All right, thanks everyone for watching. And we'll see you with our next project.